Hello, my name is Sasa and welcome to my channel. I make cooking, sewing, cosplay, and other DIY videos. Here in this video, I show how to make this headband with a bow on the top. You can also wear it on the side if you prefer. This one is made with 100% cotton fabric. You can also use different kinds of fabrics. This one is made with polyester. I saw some other tutorials where people would tie the bow part on, but if it gets loose, you have to retie it. And I wanted my bow to be perfect in the shape all the time and I never have to touch it. So I came up with this pattern. So I start with the elastic cover. I fold that in half and I sew all the way down. If your elastic is a different size, you need to make sure that there's enough space for the elastic to go in. So you may need to make the tube smaller or bigger. I iron the tube flat. Next, with the help of some tweezers, I fold in the ends about 1 centimeter, and then I iron that flat. Next, for the main body, you fold it in half and sew all the way down. And then I flip this right side out. I just want to iron the center seam. I'm trying not to iron the two sides so there won't be a crisp edge. So here I fold the edges so that it can fit inside the elastic tube. And you may have to play with the shape and the size until it fits. If it's a little bit smaller, it'll be easier to place inside. I baste the ends together so that it won't move. With the help of a large safety pin, I thread the elastic inside the elastic tube. And you want to stop when it just gets to the end. Make sure the elastic is at the very end and hide it with the fabric. So I take the main body piece and I place it inside the elastic tube. You want to make sure it goes inside at least 1 or 1.5 centimeters. Sew through all of the layers. And you need to check that you caught everything, so take the pin out and pull. If you didn't catch the elastic, you'll be able to feel it. And now you attach the other side, so you take the elastic to the end and you repeat the same thing. You want to try it on and check if it's too tight or too loose. If it's too loose, you can undo the stitches and place the main body more inside the elastic tube. I don't find that it's too small. I find it's more on the looser side for me. But if it's too small for you, you're going to have to cut a longer piece of elastic so you have more stitches to undo. Or you could just make a newer one. You can stop here if you like the look, or you can continue and add a bow. For the center tab of the bow, I fold in half and I sew down. And then without clipping the threads, I sew off the end. And then I flip it right side out with the help of a chopstick. I get a thick, stiff interfacing. It's a paper-like material that you can use to stiffen and give things more shape. I cut a piece and fold it in half and place it inside the tube. If you don't have interfacing, you can skip this or you can put an extra piece of cotton inside. Adding the interfacing helps the center piece not get all scrunched up and wrinkly when you use it to hold down the bow. With the help of my tweezers, I fold in the ends of the tube and I sew that shut. The two bow pieces are sewn in the same way. So first you fold it in half and you sew the seam, and you want to leave an opening in the middle. Then I open this out and I sew the sides. I do it like this so we don't have the seam on the side of the bow and it's more smooth. With the help of a chopstick, I turn the bow right side out. This part is optional, but you can add some stuffing to give it more body, more perky, and it stands out more. I experimented with this and I decided to only put stuffing in the back piece. If your fabric is more stiff or more floppy, especially if you're using a polyester, you may or may not want to put the stuffing, but that's up to your choice. Once you're happy with the shape and the stuffing amount, I close off the openings. I place the two bow parts together and I fold and pleat them until I'm happy with the shape. I sew this in place with the machine. If you're using a home machine, your machine might not be able to handle such thickness, so you'll have to sew it by hand together. Decide where you want to place the bow. I'm putting this one in the middle, but if you prefer on the side, you can do that as well. I fold up the center part, and then I sew this in place with the machine. Once again, if this is too thick, you can do this by hand. I dislike hand sewing, so as much as possible, I'll use the machine whenever I can. To attach the bow, you have to do it by hand, so you stitch the bow in place so it doesn't move. I leave the thread and needle in the bow, and then I get the tab and I place it over the center. You want to check from the front to make sure that the bow is in the center and not crooked. So I overlap the tab and I stitch that together, and I sew only the tab down first. After I finish the tab part, I check once again from the right side, and you can still adjust it a bit to make sure it's in the center. After that, then I stitch the tab to the back of the bow and the back of the headband. So now this part, it won't move. If my videos and tutorials helped you create something, please tag me. I would love to see your work. Please check out my channel for playlists on cooking, sewing, cosplay, and other tutorials. You can support me by buying me an online coffee, which is a donation of increments by $3, or you can buy anything from my Etsy shop. It's all handmade by me. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I hope you have fun with your projects. Bye bye!